Hey everyone, welcome back to the Brothers War set review. If you enjoy this video, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Twitch to watch me live.
Color. Astronaut, Flesh Mechanic. One mana, 1/1 Death Touch. Whenever this creature attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, create a tapped Power Stone token. Exile a creature from your graveyard. Create a 3/3 colorless zombie artifacts creature token. So 5 mana, you make a 3/3 by exiling a creature from your graveyard. So this is like a ramp spell. Oh, top 5 from colors? Sure. Yeah, I can do top. It's probably better to go by colors so I don't get lost. We could, it's probably, yeah, top 5. Okay, yeah, sure. We'll do that. So this card is good as long as you're trying to... how could this be good, though? If you're sacrificing creatures, so you want to sacrifice, like, 1/1 tokens, right? And then you're ramping into other artifacts, potentially? I could see this being useful. I don't know what deck it would be in, but... I mean, it would be in the artifact deck. I just don't know what that deck looks like. Battlefield Butcher. 3 mana, 1/4. Each opponent... Okay. Corrupt. 6 mana. Okay. Diabolic Intent. 2 mana sorcery. As an additional cost to the spell, sacrifice a creature, search your library for a card, put that card in your hand, and shuffle. Oh, corrupt goes face. I don't think that matters, but I mean, I could be wrong. Okay, corrupt in mono black burn. I don't know if that exists, but sure. This diabolic intent is fine. So we have cruelty of gigs. I don't know. I think this card's good. Diabolic intent is good. If you have a lot of tokens. I think it's good. Do I mind turning up the volume? What do you mean? For my voice? I can't. This is as far up as it goes. I can lower the music though if that's the problem. Or I can boost the gain in the on the mic. I'll try that another day though. Disciples of Geeks. 6 mana 4/4. When Disciples of Geeks enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 3 artifact cards, put them into the graveyard, then shuffle. Now I do know my mic is lower than every other streamer on Twitch, so that is a problem, but I can't do anything about it for now. I'll have to buy something to boost it. Or I could try boosting on Twitch. I guess I could try it right now. Let's see. This might be terrible, but alright, I boosted the gain by 5. Does it change anything? I don't think it does. Oh wait, no, it's not in effect. Okay, how about now? Is that okay? I guess I can boost it even more. I don't think that's enough. Alright, 5 extra. Does that distort my voice at all? I don't know. Slightly better. Alright, well, I mean, as long as it doesn't change the quality. I feel like the problem is adding gain to your mic through a filter usually fucks up the... Yeah, is it fucking up the quality of the mic? Otherwise, I'll revert it. Yeah, I feel like it's bad. I'll just have to get a... yeah, it's bad. It's probably not worth it. What if I boost it a tiny bit? Like 2. Maybe that. Well, I'll delete the filter, or I'll leave it at +2 here. Whatever. Streams of Steel and Oil. Black for target opponent reveals their hand. You may choose an artifact or creature card from it, then choose an artifact or creature card from their graveyard and exile those cards. This is fine. Obviously, it's hate for the artifact slash unearth decks. It is pretty good. Or in fact, it's probably really good. With Underdog running around and stuff. I think it's good. Yeah, on mobile it sucks. I know, I feel you, but I'll definitely try to fix it. I'll have to just buy something. Fateful Handoff. 4 mana. Good against Greasefang too. Yeah, it is. Okay, good. Card's good. Fateful Handoff. 4 mana. Sorcery. Draw cards equal to the mana value of target artifact or creature you control. The opponent gains control of that permanent. What the fuck? Is there any permanent with downside that you can give off to your opponent? I wouldn't assume Solkanar. Such a gimmick. That is, I mean, then if you don't have Solkanar, this card is dead. So useless. I feel like unless every card in your deck has a downside, this is useless. This is absolutely unplayable. Oh, target artifact or creature. So yeah, it has to be specific too. Maybe there's an artifact that you want to give off. I don't know. I wouldn't think so. Geeks, Yawgmoth, Praetor. 3 mana, 3/3. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may pay 1 life. If they do, they draw a card. And 7 mana, discard X cards, exile the top X cards of your target's opponent library. Target opponent's library, you may play lands and cast spells from them. Cast spells from among cards. Exile this way without paying mana. This card's really good. I feel like this card's really good. Curve, so yeah, you curve this out, you draw a card immediately. This card is really good. And it's really, really good with a Shield Red. This will see play. Maybe. Actually, I don't know if it'll see play, but it's a good card. Gix's command. 5 mana sorcery. This better be good. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target creature. It gains lifelink until end of turn. That's not great. Destroy each creature with power 2 or less. That's interesting. Return up to 2 creatures from your graveyard to your hand. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with the highest power among creatures they control. Oh, man. I feel like this is so hard to evaluate because I don't know what deck this would be played in. It would have to be a tempo deck, so it's probably a deck with Shield Red. I feel like this card is good, but I think the main problem with it is that I don't see. So the main thing you're gonna want to do with this card most of the time is probably sacrificing an opponent, so a creature opponent controls. That's happening almost every time, and then returning 2 creatures from your graveyard to your hand. But what deck can do that reliably? I don't think any deck can do that. So I think the problem is every other mode is the two counters are terrible. Return 2 creatures would be good, but and then situationally destroy each creature with power 2 or less is insane. But I mean, like, what if you can't sweep them, then you have to return 2 creatures or lifelink, but like lifelink is not that good in mono black or in any. I feel like this is like close to being good and could see play, but I don't know. You'll play Invoke anyways. Yeah, but this is not meant to be played in mono black, I think. I don't know where I guess every other color has tools that are better than this. Yeah, it's probably bad. Yeah, we have like Cruelty of Gigs, but I mean this Cruelty of Gigs is not an interaction though. Yeah, it's bad. Gixian Puppeteer, 4 mana, 4/3. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. When Puppeteer dies, return another target creature with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is insane. But I don't think you're ever getting the first clause. I don't think you're ever getting the drain, but I don't think that matters. I think the problem is how much exile's in the format. I mean, we will have Wandering Emperor, Farewell might be in the format. What creatures are you gonna bring back? What if you don't have a creature in the graveyard? Like there are too many variables to this. I feel like it's just bad. But I feel like it's a good card, but I feel like it's bad in standard. Hmm. Esper? I don't think this is playable. You mean Rafine? This is not. This is not good enough in Rafine. Rafine's slots are so contested already. This is not good enough. This is a weird. I don't know. I don't know what this is played in. I have no idea. It feels like it's strong, but I feel like for it to be truly strong, you would have to reliably get the drain. So maybe it does belong in a Rafine deck, but the Rafine deck is already so good. Like, why would you play this instead of Shield Red? Why would you play this instead of Urtai? Those cards have more interaction tied to them, and like, do you really need resilience in Rafine? Do you need the drain? No, you don't really need the drain. Do you need sweeper protection? No, not really. You already have that. You already have a bunch of cards that come back from the graveyard. You already have good planeswalkers. It's not. I don't think it's that good. It's better in Rafine than Shield Red. I mean, it could be, but I think most of the time it's not. But in specific matchups, I guess. But I think the thing that makes Shield Red so good is that it has so much stats, and it stops your opponent from drawing. So like you're draining one time, but then they can just draw cards and find answers with no repercussions, while Shield Red punishes that. And also Shield Red is a better blocker, so you don't, if you're losing on board and you need to attack with Rafine, you still have a good blocker behind it. I guess you could block with it and get something back, which makes it okay, but then you're losing the drain effect, so it's kind of like, I don't know. It's possible. I can imagine it being better in some situation. I don't know if it is, but the power level is potentially there. I don't know. I just think like you're not returning a 3-drop most of the time. You're returning a 2-drop. Or I mean, if you return Rafine, it's good, but the deck plays Wedding Announcement, or I guess it would stop playing Wedding Announcement for like Peacekeeper, and then you can bring back Peacekeeper. That's not terrible, I guess. I don't know. It feels like this is barely not strong enough, but I could be wrong. It could barely make it. I don't think this is like an auto occlude, but if it might just barely be enough to play like 2 or something. We'll see. Like maybe you split the shield res. You go like 2 shield red, 2 puppeteer, or something like that. I don't know. I don't care about Rafine decks anyways. If they're too strong, it's gonna get banned. But okay, Gnawing Vermin. 1 mana 1/1. When Gnawing Vermin enters the battlefield, target player mills 2 cards. When Gnawing Vermin dies, target creature you don't control gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Uh, I don't know. I guess milling yourself is good. It has a lot of things going for it. I just don't think those things are very good. Who knows? Yeah, this card is just weirdly weak, I think. I don't know. It's weird. Go for the throat, destroy target non-artifact creature. So this card is either few cards in the sideboard, or played everywhere, or not played at all. So if artifacts are a thing and they're dominating the meta, obviously this sees no play. If artifacts are a thing but other creature decks exist, this will be in the sideboard. And if no artifacts deck exists, this will be everywhere, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. Pretty much impossible to evaluate without the meta being already present. Like there's no way to evaluate this before we play the next set. Hopefully it's not going to be as bad as Powered Kill. I think it will be. I think it's not going to be very good. If I had to guess, I would say this is unplayable. Or I guess 2 slots in the sideboard, maybe. Potentially. You wouldn't want more slots because I think artifact decks are going to be pretty good. So I would say a few slots in the sideboard at most. But I hope I'm wrong because I don't want artifacts to be that good unless there are a lot of answers for them. I mean, to be honest, I don't even know if artifacts can be a thing with Jund potentially being in the meta. Titan of Industry plus Tear plus Unleash probably pushes all those decks out single-handedly. So in that case, you would probably want this. I don't know. It's tough to say. I think we have good counters to artifacts, which might nerf them enough to the point where this is actually playable and those artifact decks are not. Gruesome Realization. 3 mana sorcery, choose 1, draw 2, and you lose 2. Or creatures your opponent control get -1/-1. I don't see a deck that plays 1 toughness creatures, but if that deck exists, you would probably play this in the sideboard, if that deck is good. Sure. Gurgling Anointer. 3 mana flyer. 3 mana flyer. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. And when it dies, return another target creature card with mana value less than or equal to Gurgling Anointer's power from your graveyard to the battlefield. I don't know. I don't understand how you can draw cards. How are you drawing 2 cards a turn and you have a creature that you want to bring back at the same time? I think this card is bad. Hostile Negotiations. 4 mana instant. Exile the top 3 cards of your library in a face down pile. Then exile the top 2 cards of your library in another face down pile. Look at the cards in each pile. Then turn a pile of your choice face up. An opponent chooses one of those piles, puts that pile into your hand, and the other into your graveyard. You lose. Oh my god. Jesus. This card is insane. And I love it. I love Atris, the 3/2 that separate. I think the pile mechanic is fantastic. So every time that's printed on a card, this is I get excited. So this is definitely this is a card I'd love to play with. It's one of the most satisfying ways to draw cards, I feel like, in Magic. This is probably my favorite card so far. I don't know if it's good though. No, it has to be good. It's putting the rest into your graveyard. This card is really good. The control card? It could be. This card is very good because it puts the rest in your graveyard. It doesn't even exile them fully, right? Or it doesn't put them at the bottom. It puts them in your graveyard, which is like all upside for the most part. Losing 3 life is rough, but I'm assuming you build your deck around it, so you play a lot of life gain. Yeah, with Lear it's okay. Yeah, sure. It's actually good with Lear, actually. Never mind. Maybe you could play like a Demir Lear deck with Fading Hopes and Shield Red or something. I don't know. I like it. I hope it's good. I think it's good. I don't know if it's playable because I don't know if the metagame's slow enough for this to be played. You would have to play against decks that don't kill you on turn 5, so I don't know. It'll probably see play. More likely it sees play. It doesn't let you organize the cards like other cards that have this mechanic. Yeah, but I mean, if it let you organize, it would be too strong, so I still think it's good, huh? It's not... No, it's good, right? Because think about it this way. What is drawing 3 cards? Imagine you had a spell that drew you 3 cards. And then you draw another 3 cards. But I mean, wait, this is hard to explain. This is actually difficult to explain. So this card is almost always better, like 99% of the time, or 90. I don't know what percentage, but let's say for the sake of my example, 99% of the time, it's just better than draw 3, because you're seeing 6 cards, and then you have some mind game to go with that. Let's say you draw 3. There's a pile. There's 3 lands, right? And then there's a pile. There's like 3 spells. Well, if you drew 3 cards. If you drew 3 cards, you would draw the lands anyways, right? So it's just the same thing, except you have a chance of getting the other pile. And even in that case, even if you do get the bad pile, let's say, if they see through it, they give you the bad pile. Well, those cards are going in the graveyard. So assuming you have any way to interact with your graveyard, that's just upside, right? So this is just better than draw 3. But you're losing 3 life. So the downside is you're losing 3 life, but it's just better than draw 3. So 4 mana draw 3, is that a good card? I think so, yeah. I think it's just good. It's just a good card. Like 3 mana draw 3, it's good. And you have a chance of getting the best pile out of both. So okay, on average you're getting the worst pile, but that's still better than draw 3, because in the case where you drew 3 cards, you would draw those bad cards anyways. So it's just better. But you're losing 3 life. So that's a downside for sure. That's something to consider in a fast meta that will kill you. Maybe Jun plays it. Maybe. I don't know if... Well, I feel like Charm is just better than this, but maybe not. I don't know. Happy it's not blue though. Yeah, this fits the black aesthetic, so I like it a lot. I feel like it's very well designed. And I hope it's playable so I can play it. And even if it's not playable, I'll probably play it anyways. Misery Shadow. 2 mana for a 2/2. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile instead. Wow. And then Shadow gets +1/+1 for... So you can activate... So until end of turn, +1/+1 for 1 colorless. Wow. It's hard to evaluate because this kind of effect is usually better in a control deck, but you don't want a 2/2 in that deck, so it'd be like a Rakdos Tempo or something. Would you play a 2 mana 2/2 no text in that deck? Probably not. I don't know. I feel like it's bad, but no, I like it. I feel like it's strong. I feel like it's just bad. Because 2 mana 2/2 is not great, but it grows. Eh. Hmm. I feel like it's just worse than the Knight. The Menace Knight. I think this won't see play, but I like it. Power Stone Outlet. What, this thing? Shadow seems pretty good, not as good as Sleeper. Well, I feel like this card is just worse than the Knight, unless you really care about the exile, which I guess is the point of the card, right? But even if you care about the exile, what kind of deck are you? That's what I don't understand. Like, are you aggressive? Is there an aggressive deck that cares about exiling your creatures instead of killing them? Like, do you really have that many opportunities to like bring it back, or are there enough creatures that have a death proc or something? I don't know. I feel like the Knight is just better because it plays more into that game plan, right? You want an aggressive 2/2 as Menace, same effect, almost same effect. I mean, it's slightly worse, but it also prevents life gain, which is a lot of way better effect, I think, for a 2/2 or a 2 mana creature. Sideboard card for Esper against Owl. Nah. Mono black aggro might play both? Sure. No One Left Behind is a 5 mana sorcery. Spell costs 3 less to cast if it targets a creature card with mana value 3 or less. Return creature from the graveyard to the battlefield. I mean, this is obviously not playable, but pretty interesting. Painful Quandary. The 5 mana enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player loses 5 life unless discard a card. Hmm. I don't know. This is too hard to evaluate, I think. I'm trying to think, like, obviously you'd play this in a discard deck, but like you're already playing Invoke Despair, or are you playing this over Invoke Despair? It's possible. Like this might be like mono black discard. Don't play Invoke Despair because I mean Invoke Despair is most likely drawing you more discard anyways. Kind of useless. Liliana, Shieldred. Hmm. Destroy Evil. Yeah, but you discard it, right? So they have to top deck it. I think that's good odds. There aren't that many things. I mean, if there are many things that interact with enchantments, obviously it's unplayable. I'm just saying, like, well, I guess Invoke Despair is terrible. It's super good against this too. So yeah, it's probably unplayable. Too many ways to interact with enchantments. But I think if there was just like, I don't know, maybe just Destroy Evil, I feel like it would be fine. It's obviously unplayable against like Terror. Yeah, too many cards to deal with it. But it's interesting. But it's obviously unplayable in standard. Well, probably even less in other formats. Thran Vigil, 2 mana enchantment. Whenever one or more artifacts enters and or creatures, one or more artifact and or creatures leave your graveyard during your turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Honestly, I can't evaluate this. I have no idea what. I feel like it's bad, but I don't know. I don't have context for this, so it could be good. I don't. I think it's more often bad though. I don't really see what deck would play this. It's probably bad. Wait, leaves your graveyard. One or more. Trespasser. So 1-drop, 2-drop Trespasser. I don't know. It could be okay, I guess. I think it's most likely not playable, but it's not terrible. Because this can proc multiple times. Astronaut Harvester, 2 mana, 3/1. Whenever Harvester attacks, exile target card from graveyard. Unearth 2. Terrible. Wait, it's when it attacks. It doesn't even enter the. Okay, this is terrible. Phyrexian Fleshgorger is a 7 mana, 7/5 menace lifelink. And ward pay life to equal to Phyrexian Fleshgorger's power. 3 mana. It's also prototype for 2 black and a colorless for 3/3. So 3/3 menace lifelink, pay life equal to Phyrexian Fleshgorger's power. Could definitely see play. If aggro decks are a thing. Otherwise, no. I don't think this sees play in aggressive decks. But 3 mana 3/3 lifelinker against aggro sounds decent. Not too exciting of a card, but could see play. Razor Lash Transmogrant. Creature can't block as a 2 mana 3/1. And it has a 4 and 2 black return this creature from a graveyard to the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. This ability costs 4 or less if an opponent controls 4 or more non-basic lands. So for 2 black, you get a 4/2 instant speed. This card's good. If control is good, but control's bad. So this card is bad. Okay. Transmogrant Altar. Yeah, obviously in other formats, I would say maybe this has a chance. In standard, it's bad. Transmogrant Altar. So 3 mana artifact. Black and tap this artifact. Sacrifice a creature, add 3 colorless. Wow, that's good. So you're generating 2 mana. That's decent. 2 in tap, sacrifice a creature, create a 3/3. Color zombie artifacts creature token. I just don't understand this whole sacrifice a creature. Like, how many tokens? Do we have any token generators? I don't think we saw a single copy of a card that generates enough tokens for this to be relevant. But if you had enough tokens, this would be good. If you had ramp to some, like, this needs a lot of things, but this could tie a deck together that doesn't exist, but that could exist, right? So I don't know. Crown, 2 mana equipment, +2/+0 on a creature. And whenever the creature that's equipped dies, draw a card, and you equip for 1 black or 2 colorless. I think this is more for control decks, right? Like against control decks. And control decks don't exist, and some of them have exile too, or can destroy this. I don't think it's good enough, but who knows? I think it's pretty hard to evaluate because I don't know the metagame yet. I don't know if it's Sahili. We haven't done red or green.